record.
Alrighty.
All right, I gotta mute you in Discord or something. You're like doubled up.
Oh yeah, you can mute me in Discord. I should have muted myself. Actually, I could do that. Oop.
I thought you wanted to keep it unmuted in Discord.
Well, I need you unmuted in Discord.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I can slightly hear myself, but I think that's from your headphones, right?
Yeah, it should be. Talk again.
Wah! I heard that so clearly.
Turn yourself down on your end a little bit.
How about this? Is that better?
Do the wah thing again.
Wah! I heard it, but it was
better.
less.
Yeah, that's better. That's much better. You were Wario.
That's how you test to see if your microphone's too loud. You just go wah.
Wario is just useful as fuck.
Wario is love. Wario is life.
Wario is love. Wario is life.
Dude, we got so much shit to talk about.
This episode started with not much news, and then in the last 48 hours, just a ton of it.
Live right now for the podcast. It's good, boo. Did do. Alrighty. God damn. It's a time, man. It is a fucking time to be alive right now.
It is.
So, happy Zelda Eve.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, man. On a scale from 1 to 10, how excited do you think you are?
On a scale from 1 to 10.
Or do you think it supersedes the scale?
It supersedes the scale.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know. I was pretty excited for God of War. I was pretty excited for
Ragnarok.
No, of course not. I had not beat Ragnarok.
I was just curious, you know.
This is probably the most excited I've been since Zelda dropped before. You know what? No. This is probably the most excited I've been since Smash dropped.
Shit.
For Switch.
So do you think you're more excited for this than you were the original Breath of the Wild? Most likely then? At that measuring scale?
Yeah, because at first it was like, okay, I was like base level excited. Like, all right, cool. Zelda. Yeah, I'm going to play Zelda, of course. And then when I saw these reviews and they're talking about like it's better than that one in every way and double the size and scope and then the review scores came out. I was like, well, now I'm taking it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of what's starting to sway me, and I don't know whether or not I'm diving in tonight or not. I was saying that a little bit off cam, but the way I look at it is I feel like I need to play it to have some insight, you know? A little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I could get it now, or I could get it 5 years from now. No matter what, it's going to be the same price. So...
Yeah. It was actually certain places were selling it for like slightly cheaper all day. But I didn't know if I figured anybody who was getting it already had it pre-ordered, so I didn't
for sure
really bring it up.
I might pre-order it after we're done here. We'll see at the end of this podcast if I decide that I'm going to get it or not. That's the whole mystery right now. Will Chris get the game? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Stay to the end.
Stay to the end to find out.
Hell yeah.
What's up, Frankie, in the chat? What you doing, dog?
How are you? As usual.
As we do.
Yeah. Dude, this week has been good.
Well, that's good to know.
I feel like it's been like a good week, but also not a good week. Like we were talking a little bit how like it's been a lot, but I feel like I don't know. There's something in the air this week that I'm feeling better about. I don't know why. Maybe it's just I'm playing Jedi Survivor too much. But I don't know. Like I went to a free comic book day on Saturday, and I dressed up as Red Hood for the costume contest, which never fucking was posted. I was first on the list. They took my pictures and everything, and then they never put it on the Facebook page for like voting or anything.
Why not?
I don't know. And then my dumbass, I was hanging out with friends, like, because we're all doing the free comic book together and shit.
Real quick, just so you know, the Twitch still says Overwatch 2.
I fucking I swear. I'll do that. But I went there with friends,
Right.
and like we decided to go hang out at their place afterwards. And since I have my laptop now, and like we decided to go hang out at their I can mute myself there. Apparently they're hearing me
double boy
because of the headphones on your end.
On my end?
Yeah, like your headphones.
I don't even have them that loud.
I know, but you can still hear me. It's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah. How about now? Wow. It's only when I get loud, I think. So I'll just be.
You weren't even that loud. Just anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's still there. Why is it doing? You know what if I drop it like here? Here. There we go. If I drop your microphone to a lower amount, you won't hear it. Ah. Okay. That was loud. That was also loud. How about now? Not as bad. The main version of the podcast will be fine when it comes out tomorrow, guys, at a later time.
Yeah.
Of course. What was I saying? Shit. Oh, so yeah, I wanted to not hold them up, so I went home to take off the Red Hood costume. And I fucking didn't take a picture myself or have any of them take a picture of me. So like I don't have any for my records of like, hey, let me post this to the fucking Instagram or some shit.
Hey, I did this.
And I'm just sitting here like, okay, when are they gonna fucking post the pictures? And they just never did. Never.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm over here thinking like, is it because not enough people signed up? Because I was the first person on the list for it.
Right.
And so like in theory, I'm on the list, so you're gonna.
You should be a shoo-in.
Yeah, if nobody else comes, so it's in my mind at least. But I don't know.
Right.
But I did that. That was fun. I got some goofy ass toys. I got one of these old ass Robin action figures, which we'll talk about on Figure Friday. They're really,
it looks very 90s.
It is very 90s, like early 2000s bullshit. CLD said it looks like a Power Rangers Battleizer, like one of those like big ass armors that they get on like in later seasons.
Yeah.
So I liked it and I picked it up. But yeah, man, it was a good time. And then we played in the same room together, all playing Overwatch 2 on our laptops.
How was that?
It was good for us. But the people that were not with us, that were listening to us in Discord, were hearing 4 mics of the same exact room all echoing. And it was bad. And I feel really bad for them. But needless to say, it was a fun time. And I still haven't been able to get Call of Duty to work on my laptop.
After all that shit you went through with that game?
I went through a bunch of shit today, too. Like, I searched just the error code this time, and with nothing to do with Call of Duty, just like, as a PC error, what does this mean? And I ran through the step-by-step process of stuff that I hadn't done yet. And, like, using my, like, BIOS to turn off, like, some shit, like, what was it called? I want to say DPS, but that's not at all what it is. But like, there's something like in the background of your computer that's always running that you can turn off. Turn that off. Turned off Safe Boot. Turned off a bunch of other shit, and still didn't work. And then I finally figured it out. How I'm going to play Call of Duty at RGB LAN in a couple of weeks when that convention happens. And I'm there with my laptop wanting to play COD. Google. What is it called? Shit, I forgot the name already.
You were leading up to it and completely lost it.
Google remote access. So remote desktop is what it's called. And what I do is I set up my PC at home with it.
Yeah, I know a remote. I'm surprised that something that high intensity will still stream well over remote desktop.
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that it's not that it's streaming it. It's just capturing the screen and what's happening on my desktop. It's not streaming it over like in a highly intensive way. It's just that's what's going on your desktop, and we're connecting it through a Google web page, and that's it. So I tested it, and it works. So I can play it.
Well, like no latency, none of that shit?
No issues, as long as you have a good internet connection, which here I do, and I was running both laptop and PC on the same internet doing that. So you would think it would be a little bit less, but it wasn't. And that at RGB LAN, obviously they have to have good internet, or else the whole event would be fucking stupid and you couldn't do it. You know, like
Very
it would
true.
just be like, why are we here? The event.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, if the internet is good enough there, and I have my PC on at home, I can be like, yo, go in my room and make sure my computer's on for me real quick, and then I could just fucking hit up and then play Call of Duty remote.
I mean, I for your sake, I hope it goes flawlessly.
Here's the thing: if I can't play Call of Duty, it's not the end of the world because I have a million other games that I should probably play while at this RGB event. It is going to be interesting though, since it's mixing too many games and RGB LAN, so it's like you're gonna want to be at the convention that's there, like with the vendors and the panels and the people, which we'll get into because I technically posted in the gaming news section. But then you just go to a different building and your setup's there and you just play games till whenever. So
you can't be mad at that.
I'm gonna have a damn good time, to say the least, while also cosplaying Red Hood and making sure I get pictures this time.
Red Hood is like your natural element now.
I will say it was very moist, sweaty,
very moist.
It wasn't fun in the sense of like being comfortable, but I felt you feel a certain way. Like I didn't have the helmet on the whole time because I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna wear a helmet when I'm in a tight space with a bunch of grown adults, mainly dudes, buying comic books in a humid area. Not conducive to wearing a mask with a little airflow.
Yeah, I could see how that would be highly uncomfortable.
So I just kind of held it under my arm like it's like a motorcycle helmet, and then I finally put it on when they asked me to take a picture with it on, and like you feel different when you got that shit on. Like you're just like, ooh, I'm not me anymore, and I like that. I was like, this is what I think cosplay, the point of it is. I'm like, I've understood the assignment, so that shit was fun to say the least. But yeah, man, what's going on with you? I dressed up like a fucking action figure over the weekend. What did you dress up as?
Me. Didn't do a whole lot of anything else. What you drinking there?
A Mountain Dew Major Melon. 0 sugar.
Okay.
It's very fucking
You're off
good.
the hook. You're off the hook this time.
I needed something different because like you can only drink.
Thought it was a Coke Zero.
I'm drinking that and this at the same time because healthy. Kind of.
No, yeah, of course. Kinda. I just been busy as hell. Like last weekend was busy. Like Saturday, I was doing a bunch of running around. That's when I hit you up, said I was at that park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down there with the fam.
That park is
chilling.
good.
I noticed it. It is a nice spot. It's a nice little area.
Hell yeah. Did you go into any stores or did you just get the food from the?
We just got the food. We walked around and then we got the food. Nice. Next day, excuse me. Yeah. This is how my week is, right? That what you just saw that's a perfect reflection of my week. The next day, we got a new grill, right? So I had to put it together, of course. And so I was putting it together outside and it got really hot. So I was like, all right, I'm going to move all of this into the house, right? Sure. So I put the whole grill together. And once it was fully together, Adrian is like, oh man, now I want to use it. I'm like, okay. So we take it back outside and she's like, oh, we should call like your mom and have her make something and come over and we'll cook out. But in my mind, I was like, that is not how I planned my day today.
You are changing.
I didn't plan to do anything.
That I had planned to do.
You are changing everything. So fast forward, there's coals on the grill. The grill is lit. Food is on the grill. My aunt, my mom, my brother, my uncle, and 2 cousins are over there. I was like, I didn't want to see any of you today. I wanted to do nothing and chill. And now I'm entertaining.
Here today.
Right. Now I'm entertaining somehow. So it was a good time though. Hung out, ate, drank. Was incredibly tired because at that point I've been running around all weekend. By the end of that night, I was like, I didn't sit down once this whole weekend. Then of course Monday comes, you go to work. So it's been a bunch of that shit. Work has been busy. Home life has been busy. I've been trying. It's nice out, so I've been trying to come home and like take them out and do like not just come home and we're just in the house and we're doing the usual. Let me make y'all the lunch for tomorrow and get everybody get cleaned up and everybody bedtime. Like no, I was like, all right. Came home and we went across the street to the playground and I took both of them over there and let them hang out, have fun, whatever. We walked around in the neighborhood a little bit. And really my goal is to just tire out Brendan. Like that's the number one
For sure.
goal right there. Trenton, I could just be like, go somewhere. And he'll go somewhere most of the time. Anyway, so I fed Brendan. We all went out. He came back. I watched him. I'm like, yo, you should be done for. You've been messing with your mom all day. I come home. I pack you with food. Like I feed the shit out of this kid.
Yeah.
Like I was like, no, I'm going to make you nice and full, right? Fed him, took him out to play, came back, ended all off with a fucking hot bath with the nighttime bubble bath stuff.
Shit.
Put him in his room,
For the butt.
top it all off with a bottle, right? Put him in his crib, gone.
Okay.
Just sleep. I was like, woo, right? So like later on, I was like, all right. So Trenton goes to sleep. I come back to the like Adrian fell asleep. And I was like, yes. So I just sit on the couch and I'm just kind of chilling. And then I hear him cry. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, I'm gonna just let him chill. And then he'll go back to sleep. There's no way you could have any energy left. No way possible. And he's crying, and and it goes on for a while. I'm like, I'm the only one awake. So it has to be me that's gonna check up on him. So I go up there, go in his room. What did I find, Chris?
Oh, is this the thing you told me about? The poo?
I mean, yeah, but I don't remember telling you about this one specifically.
Is that the fountain one? This is a separate one that happened?
Fountain?
Yeah, you said that he was like leaking everywhere.
Oh no, it wasn't that one. Fuck that day. I don't ever want to think about that day again. No, his room just smelled like shitty diapers. I was like, so I fed him and it worked. It put him down, but it
went down real quick.
It went down. So that woke him up. But as soon as I changed it, the effect was still there.
Okay.
He was mad because he had shit in his ass. So I changed the fucking diaper. And as soon as I change it and I put him down, like no lie, I put him in the crib and he's like,
nice.
He just immediately knocks out. I was like, all right, well, that's going to be my game plan every day now.
Hell yeah.
So I've been coming home, making them all active, washing them up, feeding them, and he's been asleep. He's been going to sleep at like 7:30, and I've been having this whole night. I haven't had a whole night in like a row since before him.
Hell yeah. You found the secret for at least a
week. I did.
Or two.
I have his formula down as of now.
Gotcha. Hell yeah. Well, that's going to be great.
I know that sounded...
tonight, then.
Yes. If he wakes up tonight, I'm just going to be a bad father. I'm just going to ignore him and not go in there.
Deal with the shit.
Yeah, you're going to have to... You should have went to the toilet, dog. I don't know.
Goddamn.
But, yeah, man. We're getting back. I'm slowly creeping back to a time where I can finally start possibly streaming again.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited for you to stream again because I feel like we got so much new shit on the channel that like gets clips and shit. And
there's so many games I've been wanting to stream. I wouldn't even know where to start, but I think I know where I'm going to start.
Yeah. Make a wheel. That's what I did at one point.
I might have to do that.
Yeah. Simple, easy.
I might have to do that. True that.
I think we're good to go.
But that's been my week. Yeah. That's been my week.
Well, it's time to get into this news-heavy episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna click a little button, and y'all are gonna listen to some music while we chit-chat behind it and think how long it is.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
So party people.
That's how we're starting
Party
the
people in the
now?
place to be.
So we're gonna start the podcast now. What's up, party people?
Party people in the party people in the place to be. You're now chilling in the place with Anthony or A&T, whatever you want to call me. C
LD.
LD and the CHAT with Frankie. Level up, gamers, and welcome to
P.
Better not fucking P.
He's back, everybody.
I'm back with this 80s ass flow I just had. I'm Anthony, and I'm here to say I'm the ravenous guy in the USA. Nah, those times are over. Level up. Wiki. Level up, and welcome to the Save Before Quitting podcast. I go by the name of Ant, and with me today, as always, every week on the show is my co-host and friend and partner and homie, Chris.
How you doing?
Yeah. Save letter B number 4 quitting on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch.
Wait, what?
Did you say titty? You froze. Did you hit your cue?
And I was laughing at Frankie's chat. Sorry. Titty.
We're already fucking up. Titty gang. Save before quitting, all of it spelled out at gmail.com. If you want to send us some email, savebeforequitting.com, all of it spelled out. You get all your merch. We have dope merch. I'm wearing some on my head right now. Go be a nerdy gamer person and get yourself some merch. Patreon. We have Patreon. You get 2 extra episodes a week. We are going to binge record those soon come. So we can catch back up to ourselves and you guys. Discord, please join the Discord. Please do it.
Discord. There's in the things chat. You're here.
Yeah, please, like Discord. You want to be a part of that if you watch this show, because you get to see the makings of the show. Join the community, be a part of it. A lot of jokes, a lot of news, a lot of fun. So join up on the Discord, please. What's left to say, man?
One thing.
I guess the only thing, as we do every week, Chris, what is this week? What'd you play today?
I have played a lot of 2 games mainly, and then a little bit of another. So I've been playing, obviously, Fortnite, because the new Star Wars event is out right now for Star Wars Day. It's been going on for a little bit since Star Wars Day has been a thing. There's even a little battle pass I talked about last week. If you want to go find out all the ins and outs of that shit, go listen to that. But it's been pretty cool. There's rumors that there's more skins coming. One of them maybe being Ahsoka, and then another one, I forget what was rumored as. I think it's the battle droids, and I really would like to be a battle droid in the game. One, because your hitbox has to be horrendous for people to hit, because you're the skinny fucking wireframe guy. And also, survivors out and you kill them a lot in this game. Other than that, obviously Overwatch 2, they just also started their own Star Wars event that is not Star Wars or branded where Star Wars, but it's called Star Watch.
Go on.
So pretty much just a bunch of skins this season that are based off like aliens and shit in the battle pass, and then in this event specifically, there is it's a 4v4 game mode in which there are pretty much the rebels and the Empire, but whatever the fuck they called them in this parody. And the bad guys are trying to defend where they are because they're holding on to like the robot that has all the info, and then they have turrets set up all over the map, and then the good guys have to capture 4 points to get to the very end and win. It's pretty fun for what it is. I'm not a huge fan of some of the characters that you play on like the attacking side personally, just because they're not like characters that I often play. Like I can play them, but I don't have fun doing it. There's that. So I like defense a little bit more, and it's all right. I don't understand why Overwatch keeps doing these 4v4 game modes for events though. Besides like the Hanzo one that they did for Valentine's Day, which was like a free for all. Like you just made the game 5-5 when it used to be 6-6. Why the fuck are you making your events 4-4? Like you've made
Mhm.
it easier to have these events be 5-5. So much, in fact, that on the map, if you're defending, you have a bunch of turrets set up everywhere, and if you're attacking, you have an AI bot that like attacks with you.
Mm.
So it's like, why didn't you just give that to another player instead of a bot? And then why did you give us turrets when you could have just given us another player on our team? You know, like
Yeah.
it's stupid to be honest with you. I don't get it, and it's whatever. Um, Other than that, the main one I've been playing is obviously Jedi Survivor. I have beaten the campaign. So
Mhm.
fucking good. So fucking good. I cannot praise this campaign enough because of how fun it was, how shocking all the twists were, things that happened that you
Yeah.
didn't expect to happen. And needless to say, this game made me feel like, holy shit, I've been gaslit this whole game until like three major twists and surprises happen. And I'm like, holy
Mhm.
fuck. Um,
Gotta
but
love that.
it's super fun to play. All the different stances and shit that you get are great. Currently I'm playing it both on New Game Plus mode, just like from the beginning, and then also in my main gameplay where I'm trying to just get all the collectibles and shit, so I have
Yeah.
them. Um, so yeah, pretty cool so far. Um, I don't want to spoil anything because there's a lot of stuff that I could spoil. Just play the game, somebody. Please, somebody play the game. I know
Somebody.
CLD is also playing. I don't know if he beat it yet. Now that I think about it, because the way that CLD and I were playing were a little bit different. Where I'm like, I'll explore an area to a certain point, but then I'm like, I'm done with this because there's only so many times that I
Mhm.
can show up to a new area and I'm like, oh, undiscovered area, and then try to go forward and it be like, well, you can't go farther because you don't have whatever this power up is or this movement
You don't have
ability.
the doodly do.
Exactly. Um, so like the main one that was pissing me off was there's these little like almost like buoys like in like the ocean, but
Mhm.
like they're floating because Star Wars. Um, and you can use your grappling hook, which you get at the very beginning of the game, to like launch to them and then launch off of them. But you don't get that till
Got
like
it.
way late in the game, and you see
Mhm.
those for like the first time very early into the game, and you just see them in the sky and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? I can't go anywhere near it. And like I was just doing it before we started recording on like an area that was on the very first planet that you can't get around at all without that. And I'm like, well, here's all the fucking area that I couldn't see before, and it's not that amazing. So it's kind of fucking annoying.
Mhm.
But it's pretty cool. There's a lot of TikToks I've seen of stuff that I haven't done yet as well, where I'm like, I kind of want to, cheese some shit. Like, you remember in the first game that first really big frog that shows up?
Yeah.
It's like Ogdo
Yeah.
Bogdo or some shit like that. And I think that's actually his name. Well, it's like a meme that that monster was overpowered as fuck, pretty much, for like how
Mhm.
early in the game you fight it. And in this game, you fight the son of Ogdo Bogdo. And the way they get you is very funny because it's just a trap door. Like you'll just be walking like on the ground in this area of the map, and it's not even. I don't think it's marked. I could be wrong, but you're just walking, and the ground just opens up and drops you into a pit with Ogdo Bogdo, his son.
That's funny.
And I've seen a lot of people like baiting enemies that are like heavy hitting enemies to the hole, stepping in the middle, causing it to open, doing the double jump and dash to get away from it. So
To
then
get away,
they're
yeah.
fighting Ogdo
They
Bogdo.
fall.
You just have to go drop down and hit him like 2 times and you win. So I'm gonna do that because
That sounds
I
cool.
don't want to fight
It's a
it.
good way to cheese that
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
but it's been really fun, man. I'm really curious to see what they do in the next game because obviously there's gonna be another one after this, and the time period that this game takes place is the exact same time period as the Obi-Wan show that just came out. So like
Mhm.
in theory we could end up seeing a live action version of Cal Kestis more realistically very soon because We got the Obi-Wan show.
That-
They might do a season 2.
I was about to say that has to be inevitable,
Yeah.
right?
In my mind, it is at least. I don't know how realistic it is or how much of a difference he'll make in like any of the shows or anything, or if it'll just be like a fleeting cameo where it's just like a quick thing. I'd kind of like it if it was that, just so that they could still
Yeah.
do the third game and not have to worry about like the ramifications of what happened in a live action show. Like do like a one-off episode where Obi-Wan is doing some bullshit and then he runs past Cal Kestis for a second and then they both sense each other with the Force and then that's it. That's all I need.
He doesn't need to have like some major
Yeah,
overarching like position in the movie.
for sure. I just need like them to acknowledge each other, maybe do like a mission together or like a little thing together, and then Obi-Wan gets offered help from Cal, but then Obi-Wan's like, I can't do it. I got to watch this child over here until he becomes a man, and then I become senile. You know, And,
As I
you
do.
know, it's a new hope, don't you know? And shit. Because that's the lines in the movie. But yeah, that's about all I've been playing. What about you?
Mm. I haven't played much just because of how I said this week
Mhm.
went. I got Humble Bundle put out this I think it was this Capcom bundle. It was like 11 games for $10.
Yeah.
Um I delved into that. It had like the original Mega Man collections on there. One of the Lost Planet 3, I think. It had I don't remember everything. I remember having Strider
hmm
games that I was like, oh, I'd like to have some of these portable on my Steam Deck.
Oh yeah.
For $10 and for that I'll pay that to get this bundle. So I did that. I ended up diving into Strider for a little
Mhm.
bit. I used to love the Strider games, so that was fun. Dove in it, but that I didn't play too long. I just kind of hopped in and out of some of those.
Mhm.
Um, other than that, uh, Trent was playing my Switch the other night. He was playing Mario Kart. He's like, "You want to play Mario Kart?" So I just played Mario Kart with him
Mhm.
real quick. But that's all I really
Oh
played.
yeah.
I'm storing up all my playtime
Yeah. You got 2 hours.
for the in 2 hours.
I feel like I'm gonna like go to like edit the podcast and you're just gonna be like, it's there. Just fucking do it. I'm busy.
just go edit the thing.
Goddamn. Uh
I did my
did you
part.
watch Guardians yet?
Yes, I saw Guardians.
Without spoiling anything, because obviously it's the weekend of. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was good.
Mhm.
I'm not like that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. It well, I like the Guardians movies in
Yeah,
general.
for sure.
So I enjoyed it. I didn't how do I put this? It wasn't like holy shit. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? To me.
Yeah.
But it was good. They've definitely it's hard to talk about it without saying things
Yeah.
that
I
happened in
mean,
it.
as far as I'm concerned, it was fine. Like I didn't love it,
Yes.
and I'm so confused by the people that are saying it's the best MCU film of like this what's it called? Phase or
The
whatever.
phase.
I'm like, I don't think so. Like it's not amazing by any means.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I don't think much has
No, it's
been. I
true, but
think
I don't
like we talked about this before. I think Shang-Chi was
I think
great.
it's the best
If we
one.
count that as yeah, that but I think it's easy to say that it's
Mhm.
that. And I wouldn't 100% even disagree. It is at least up there because the bar is already kind of low.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hard if you're coming with a formula that was already been proven to be great. This combination of like these movies and James Gunn and like you already kind of know what you're
For
getting.
sure.
Obviously, it's a different story for this, but you know the formula of a Guardians
Oh yeah,
movie.
100%.
So, with that being said, I expected it to be good, And people who are saying it's the greatest of this phase, I'm not mad at that opinion because I just don't think anything has been mind
Mhm.
blowing yet, anyway, in this
I
phase.
agree. Yeah. I don't know. I also left feeling like, and this might just be me, but like obviously, if you've seen any of the trailers, you know that it's heavily based off of Rocket's story as like a character.
Hmm.
The one thing I will say is I really wish there was more Rocket stuff in it, of like the Rocket that we know. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of
Hmm.
stuff that's flashbacks and like origin story stuff and like why he is the way he is today. And then the reason we like Rocket, no offense to like all of that stuff because it was good, is the way he is today. And we don't get to see a lot of that because
Right.
it's, it's mainly backstory and whatever happens in the movie without spoiling anything. And I'm just like, why is there not more like, you know, Rocket? I want more Rocket. Like that's what
Yeah.
this movie is supposed to be for.
One thing I was like, I guess confused about was because this isn't a spoiler because he's in the
Yeah.
trailers and stuff. Adam Warlock was just confused. Like his whole role was just like
He was.
he did everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
And then like there's no like big resolve for that character. And obviously they're building to something with
Yeah.
him to for some kind of inclusion or ultimate like you kind of can tell where it's gonna go and who they're gonna have to end up fighting
Yeah.
like that has to do with him later.
Mhm.
But as far as this movie, it was just like he was just
Yeah.
random.
He was so random, in fact, that my dad leaned over to me while we were sitting there watching it. He's like, "Isn't this the dude from that one movie with the guy from Ted Lasso, and he got his like balls bit by a spider?" And I'm like, "That's what he's known for." And, like, you couldn't
Mhm.
separate that. Like, that's immediately what you thought. And like, I don't know, man. He was fine, but like,
He was I don't even want to say
I just don't.
he had his moments, but he just didn't really it's almost like you didn't need him
I
yet.
feel the same about him with the way that I feel about Kraglin, the dude,
Mhm.
James Gunn's brother, his character.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel the
yeah.
exact same way about those two characters. Like in this movie specifically, at least. Obviously, like if
Mhm.
you've played the Guardians of the Galaxy game, you know that Adam Warlock is much different in the comics because that was much more faithful to the that adaptation. Um,
Mhm.
and this was not that. And
Yeah,
then
like I'm
also the
like
post credit scene, the second one, fuck you. Making me wait for that. Fuck you. That's bullshit. Uh That's all my thoughts right
I,
there.
no, I know exactly what you
Yeah,
mean.
it's like, you fucking kidding me right now? Like, I didn't mind waiting for the Mario movie post-credit scene. That one felt less of a waste of time than this one.
And that's hard because that
Yeah.
Mario one was like, well, duh, he was in the movie.
I don't know.
Yeah, like this, like yeah, like and the misdirection. Obviously, I'm not going to say
Yeah.
anything, but they made you believe. In fact, I feel like it was just verbatim said that blank is going to happen in this
Mhm.
movie, and then like blank happens like technically twice, but then it doesn't, and I was like, well, then what the fuck?
Yeah. I was I don't know. Besides that, and well, before we get
Yeah.
into news, the best part about that movie, and I will say that I was going to the AMC in Chamonix Mall,
Hmm.
and I was going with my mom and dad, and then my mom's friend Carolyn, 'cause it was her birthday. And like I'm close with her friend Carolyn. She's like the one friend that my mom has where I'm like, you're not a complete idiot. Like most of my mom's friends, I'm just like, you're
Okay.
just a bad influence on who she is as a person. You're a good person because you'd call her on her bullshit,
Mhm.
which is good. Um, so we
Yeah.
were like,
You went with the cool crowd.
exactly. So I'm eating. We get meal at a Cracker Barrel, and myself, I
Mhm.
get.
Where the crackers are.
I am so zooted at this motherfucking place. this farm ass
Mm.
motherfucking restaurant, and I'm failing. I accidentally took a little bit too big of a hit. That's all I'll just say. And
Your parents know you
Yeah.
smoke, right?
100%. But here's the thing:
Alright.
I can mask when I'm high or not. And like, it was very funny because my mom recently got into edibles and had one at a family event and was obviously high
Mm.
to the point where everyone texted me and my brother like, "Is she?" And we're like, "Yeah." And I was at the restaurant like, "Do you think I'm high right now or do you not think I'm high?" She's like, "You're not high right now. You didn't." I'm like, "I am blitzed. I can mask this."
Yeah.
But that being said, I bought my candy from, you get the candy sticks, the stick ones from Cracker Barrel. Where it's just like a flavor and a little candy, like these dudes. Yeah,
Oh,
I fucking
yeah. I haven't
love
been.
it.
I haven't been to Cracker Barrel in a while.
Love that
Yeah.
candy. It's 5 for $1. So I'm like, fuck yeah, movie snack, baby. Get that shit. Go to the AMC, and the AMC that's near me has a bar to the side, and they're playing the
Mhm.
Sixers game 5, I think it was, because tonight's game. No wait, game 4, because last night.
Game 4, they're at it's 3-2 now. They got to go against
Gotcha.
Boston.
There's a game right
again
now
to see.
happening.
Yeah, yeah.
But that game was on, and it was like right at the buzzer beater at the end of whether or not they got that 3-point shot, I think it was. But it was like right after the clock went, and I'm standing at
Mhm.
one of the tables, and I'm just
Look at us, sports
just
podcast.
zooted, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening in this sport ball game, and then everybody at the
Mhm.
bar starts cheering. And I like to people watch, so I'm looking at all the bar people, and I'm like, oh, look, they're so happy. That's crazy.
They're having so much
And then I
fun.
look to the very end of the bar, and I see a tall, dark gentleman smiling
Mhm.
ear to ear from the Sixers win. And I'm like, that cannot be. That can't be. So then I'm high, so I have a little less social anxiety than I normally do. And I just jauntily walk over. And I'm like, what are you doing here?
Mhm.
And motherfucking CLD is there with his fiance. I meet her. She's a lovely woman.
Mhm.
Very nice. And we talk. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm so far gone. I am so he got to experience full Zoot.
Full
I
Zoot.
was gone, dude. I was Super Saiyan 3 Zoot. Like, this was to go further beyond.
You were Super Saiyan.
I was a Zoot per Saiyan.
Oh shit, they lost? I didn't even know. Fuck, there's 3-3 now. I thought they had it. I'm like, well, this is
They
it. They're gonna get them out of
because then
here.
they go to game 7 and they make more money.
I mean, fuck that. Win or don't.
No, it's scripted. I don't give a fuck. Real sports are wrestling. Wrestling is just man enough to say that they script it. That's the only difference.
I don't think I'm not. I do think a part of yes, right? But I don't know. I guess it's when it's this. It's just like fucking save that for the
No,
finals.
they need to get every last fucking penny out of every simpleton in the city that will be like, nah, I'm gonna go to the next game. I'm going to game 7, even though it's not even game 7 that matters yet. And watch, if they do go on, there's gonna get to another game 7 after that.
Were they at Boston? Or were they
tonight
home?
was home because there's also a Taylor Swift concert at the same time.
I wanted them to win
for Taylor Swift
the series at home. I mean, yeah, they're gonna cross up fucking Taylor Swift and bang on her fucking head. I wanted them to win at home and not have to go back to Boston.
I feel that home field advantage and such. But yeah,
but
it was fun, man. It was fun to see CLD in person. I hadn't seen him since when was it last time we all got together?
Y'all went to that wrestling event.
It might have been that. Yeah, it might have been AEW with me, CLD, and Brett. I think that might have been it. But yeah, it was fun. It was cool to see him there as well. So I hope they had a good time when I did not. But yeah, it is time.
And you were Super Saiyan 4.
This is to go further beyond. Puffing O's out like they're fucking.
It's just gold smoke coming out of your pores.
O and then put my hand up. Destructo disc.
It just wafts onto somebody and breaks apart. Like, the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing here?
You putting smoke on me?
All right. Well,
Security?
It is time for the motherfucking news, and here comes
motherfucking news.
Motherfucking Mario's.
Let's get to the news.
Welcome to Say Before Quitting News, sponsored by our merch. Go pick it up and put it on.
Hey, and put it
Get up
on.
and put it on.
Put it
Um,
on. Put it on.
I believe our first news story, if I'm correct, is the interview with Phil Spencer.
Jeez. Yo, I said this to Chris before we started the show. We had a nice, like, humble amount of news. It wasn't anything crazy. I'm like, all right, cool. In those little streamlined episode. In the last 2 days, we've gotten so much news.
It is shocking how much shit has come out in the past 2 days, but we're gonna make our way through. We don't have to stay too long on everything. For this interview, kind of funny, got Phil Spencer on pretty much like the day or two after Redfall dropped. And if you don't know,
Yeah.
Redfall sucks.
Shocker.
Which actually is a shocker. Everyone.
I downloaded that and just never touched it after a while. Like I do everything, but
If
specifically
I
this,
were
of course
you,
not.
after we're done recording, I mean, in theory, you'll probably edit the podcast sometime tomorrow because you want to play.
No, I'm gonna edit it.
If you finish early, hop in Redfall for a little bit before Breath of the Wild comes out, just so you can appreciate Breath of the Wild more. But you need to experience Redfall and how bad it is. But he pretty much came on the podcast and was very openly honest about how poorly it's doing and whatnot, which was neat to see, to say the least.
Yeah,
especially since
the best thing about Xbox is probably Phil Spencer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just because
and Game Pass.
I put Phil Spencer above Game Pass. You're better than that, Phil. You are. But yeah, it was a nice, refreshing honesty from him that like they're disappointed how the game came out. Obviously, nobody wants the game to flop like the way it did, but obviously they're in talks of trying to salvage it and see what they can do. They also talked, I think, a little bit about the Activision deal and how they were pissed off how it was shut down by Britain. I think it was.
Yes.
And
yes.
how
the
way that they shut it down was not totally honest or something along those lines. So they're doing it again. They're trying to counter their argument with more facts so that they can still go through with it. So it's not over yet. In the sense of the Activision acquiring. But yeah, I don't know. It was a nice, refreshing interview. We do have the link to that. It's a little bit back, so you got to scroll up if you want to watch it. It's a good interview. So check that out.
He also just talks about Xbox in general, how they realize that it was surprising, but also pretty admirable to hear him say, like, we can't. They was like, even if, let's just say Starfield, he said, if Starfield is an 11 out of 10, that's not going to all of a sudden get millions and millions of people, hundreds of millions of people to buy Xbox. Oh, yeah. He's like, we know we're in like quote unquote third place. He was like, we can't, what did he say? He said, we can't obviously turn the tide completely and all of a sudden beat Nintendo and Sony. He's like, we know that. He's like, but that's not their goal. Their goal is to be like a service to gamers.
I like that.
And they're just trying to cement themselves. He was like, and yes, I know with Redfall, he was like, unfortunately, it didn't hit the things they meant to hit with that game. He said they're doubling down. They're gonna keep up with their presentation they got coming in June. He's like, hopefully some exciting things people can get re-excited for. He knows they owe the people, a vast amount of games, like something to power Xbox, because they realize they're not hitting what they want to hit. What else did he say?
There was a lot, and it was a long time ago in a galaxy.
Yeah, he was like, he said he feel like they lost the most important generation because they weren't able to keep their foothold after Xbox 360 and losing the generation in the Xbox One era and PS4 gaining that much traction. He said PS4 took the lead and then put out exclusive after exclusives and banger after banger to the point where they're like, he said they lost pretty much their loss in that generation kind of put them further behind than they expected to be. And he said he's not making any excuses. He said they're just trying to power forward, and there's things that people should be excited for. And
I dig that.
Obviously, Xbox gamers or gamers in general, if you've heard that before, they've said that before. I just hope. I think what they could do to help them, in my personal opinion, is they need more shit that we don't know about. They need more Hi-Fi Rush treatment. They
Yeah.
need to have games we know nothing about. Be like, hey, this is coming out and it looks really good, and it's available like now or like next
I
month
agree with
or
that.
some shit.
That's the shitty part is like how bad Redfall is and like the hype behind it. It really sucks because like you put so much time and like so much like effort into promoting it, but then you drop Hi-Fi Rush
Mhm.
on the same day that you talk about it, and it's phenomenal, but I forget
Right.
about it because the whole time you're telling me Redfall, 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 and you keep fucking hammering that into my head, and then it comes out and it's finally shit. Like I can't remember the good game because you've been fucking hammering the shit in my head for so long, and then you released a pile of shit with sprinkles on it and vampires for some
Right.
reason. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's also nice just having like a person that you can like directly be like, he knows what's going on in the company, as opposed
Mhm.
to like a Nintendo or a Sony where it's just like things are happening everywhere in that company. They have so many acquisitions of smaller studios and shit, and like there's heads of those studios that are talking about stuff and directors from like this and
Mhm.
that, and like you hear so much from so many people compared to Xbox where it's mainly just Phil Spencer. It's almost the Jeff Keighley of Xbox, if that makes sense. Like he's just there to like promote and give you the opinion of everything, and it's nice to have that
Yeah.
compared to millions of voices, or in fact with Nintendo, sometimes no voices with like one dude who snaps his
Right.
fingers with the fucking Switch Directs, which are boring. Um,
Right. I think that you're right because he's out of the three companies, he's the only one that's like people
yeah,
facing. The three tentpole companies. Because we only hear from Nintendo during directs, like you
we've
just
never
said,
heard from Gabe Newell,
and we
the
who?
guy from like Steam and Valve.
Oh
Gabe,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. You never hear from
This
him,
dude's just fucking
and
rich. That's
Sony
why
like,
you don't have to fucking hear from him ever.
and Sony is back to their which they earned. Their cocky like we don't have to say shit. We're
Yep.
PlayStation. Um Now and the fanboys are going crazy. Like on Twitter, they're just fuck it. Like the Sony people are like fuck Xbox, and then the Xbox people are trying to fight back, but they can't because what are they gonna
Yeah.
say? But I don't like the fact like for me, it's like shouldn't we want Xbox to be powerful?
Yeah.
Because it would challenge Sony. Because then they'd have to. I want two companies that have to keep one upping each other because then we just
Yeah.
benefit as the gamers.
That golden era that you want was like PS3 era for me. Like that was when I feel like the console wars were at their highest and like biggest deal. Like in high school, every fucking day hearing about like Halo and not knowing a thing about it because I don't have an Xbox,
Mhm.
but then also being on PlayStation. And there's not too many exclusives at that time on PlayStation 3 that are like must do besides like Sackboy, which isn't amazing. But then like PS4 comes out and you're like, oh fuck. Here we get Spider-Man, then we get this, and we get that. So it's like they kind of one up themselves, but it was still going back and forth. Like I don't need to play Halo because I can play everything better on PlayStation. Blah blah blah. You know. And I think Uncharted was
Mhm.
also that time as well.
PS3 was like you said, Sackboy. It was Resistance. It was Uncharted. It was the original God of Wars.
Oh yeah,
It
shit.
was Need for Speed, Gran Turismo. I know I'm missing some very important PS3 games, but Grand Theft Auto, even though that was
Mhm.
multi-platform, but most people went to PlayStation for
Yeah.
it. Killzone, it had a library, but 360 was at such a
Yeah.
high. 360 was like on par. Like it was like no Xbox. That's the generation was like, oh, Xbox is here to stay.
100%.
They're fucking shit
That
up
was
over
the
there.
only time where
But
I thought
then
about switching to like full on Xbox shit.
that generation, I was Xbox. I didn't get a PS3 until God of War 3 came out, and it was right before Grand Theft Auto
Mhm.
5 originally dropped. because I didn't want to play that on Xbox.
So many years
I wanted to play it on
ago,
PlayStation.
still played today.
Still going. So like 360 was killing shit. And then they had like their online community was bigger. And it was just great.
For sure.
And then PS3 caught up in the end because they had what Infamous, like they had some bangers.
Forget about Infamous. Oh man. Dude, that's so good.
But Xbox fumbled the bag because then they tried to make this console that was your one place to go. You could connect your cable to it. It's a one piece media. They didn't focus on the games. They focused on like
being everything,
the multimedia around it.
They wanted to be a Swiss Army.
Oh, but it also plays video games.
They want to be like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, and no, that's not what we don't need you to be that. Because then PS4 came and it was like curtains. Like PS4 came, that's back when they were putting out good Battlefield games. Battlefield 4 dropped with that shit. I remember getting that. We already know. Spider-Man, God of War, like everything.
Now Sony is just
the rest is just history. Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. We could obviously talk about this forever, but yeah, I like the fact that Phil Spencer pretty much was like, yeah, we know, we own it, and we'll do better. I
appreciate that from them a lot. Like, I'm never going to be an Xbox person, but I will always have Xbox Game Pass because I respect the fuck out of them. I support what they're doing with Game Pass, and then when I have it, and it's worth it for like the amount that it is. But yeah, that's the thing. If you'd like to go watch that interview, it's probably a little bit shorter than how much we just talked about it, but you know, go check it out. It's in the Discord. Next in the news, Pete's kid from the Goofy movie. Next up in the news,
Spider-Verse is coming. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. You can go buy your tickets now. So go do that.
I'm excited for this shit,
do
man.
that. Oh hell yeah, we've been waiting for this.
After that, there's a little bit more information on a lower link, but we're just gonna mention it for a quick second now. ROG Asus, if you don't know, the PC company, have pretty much announced and given us a full spec review of a new handheld device called the ROG Ally. If you've seen a Steam Deck, imagine that, but in white, because that's practically what it is, minus the touchpad, I believe.
Yes, no touchpads.
It is a little bit more expensive. We'll get into that a little bit later, but that was announced, and we recently got that advertisement for it as well. Next.
Next up, Carl Urban is in the final talks to be Mortal Kombat 2's Johnny Cage. If you don't know who Carl Urban is, watch The Boys, and you will know who Carl Urban is. I can see him playing that role.
Same. I feel like they needed to have him as the role in order for me to give a shit about that movie, because the first one, in all honesty, kind of dumb. The first one of the reboot, it wasn't great. They introduced a character that nobody gave a shit about.
Yeah, that was the dumbest part of the movie.
And it just was, while the fights were cool and all the stuff that was happening, like visually was cool, the story was horrendous, in my opinion.
You know what? But it was, I think that movie was fun though. Like I don't think it was, it was better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation in the 90s. That shit was garbage even then. But I liked the Mortal Kombat movie. It wasn't like this is a classic and I need to watch it again. It was a fun ride.
I liked it whenever the dude that they introduced wasn't on the screen.
Yeah, he was pointless.
I just didn't like him, and I didn't think that what they did with like his powers and stuff were creative, really. Like it wasn't anything special.
You can tell he was an afterthought. You could tell somebody walked in and we was like, we need somebody who's going to be an analog to the viewer watching the movie. It was like, we don't need that. You could have just had the Mortal Kombat characters. That would have been fine.
But I think Carl Urban being cast in this role would be great for it, just because big name from The Boys. Obviously, he's doing great things right now, and me wanting to see him in that role is cool. If they don't do him, I think in my mind, this is a dumb decision, but I would want The Miz from WWE.
Yeah, everybody's saying The Miz,
because I feel like he was made for that role, and that's literally his character on WWE. But the thing is that if you do that, this then becomes one of those straight to DVD movies for me, in my opinion. Just because I don't think The Miz is that big of an actor where it's like, oh my god, Johnny Cage is in this now, and you see it's The Miz, and you're like, who the fuck is that? For most people, and that's fine. I would have a great time with it. I love that idea. I'm pretty sure there's a couple people in chat that would love that as well. But Karl Urban is the correct choice, hands down. So
I wouldn't mind The Miz. I just think that
mind it, but you
I don't know,
love Karl Urban though.
I mean, I like Karl Urban too. I don't think the Miz would be bad. I think he would carry that. Like you said, he already is that person. So I might like him more, if not the same as Karl Urban, to me personally. And I'm not even in I'm not heavy into wrestling, but I can recognize who's gonna be a good
Johnny Cage
role, who would play that role well. Sure. If it works, it works. If I don't, even if I didn't know him, I'd be like, all right, like I didn't know some of the people who played the other characters in the first movie. So for me, it wouldn't pay me any never mind, because I know who Johnny Cage is, and as long as you can be Johnny Cage, I'm sold.
I agree entirely. There's also some Mortal Kombat news. Did we post about that or no? If not, then we can just bring
the Mortal Kombat 12 teaser.
So we got a teaser for Mortal Kombat 12, but it's not as simple as you may think, because it showed it on a ticking clock. The teaser, and it went from I think the left side. I don't know what number it started at, but it went all the way up to 11, and then this weird thing happened in which it skipped 12 entirely and went to 1. A lot of people who know about the campaign of Mortal Kombat 11 have been pointing out the fact that Mortal Kombat 11's campaign is kind of like a universe reset, in the sense that whatever happens at the end, it kind of sets it back to the beginning. So a lot of people are saying that it's not going to be Mortal Kombat 12. It's going to be Mortal Kombat
1 reboot.
Just that's it. And we got to.
But they did that already.
But they're going to do it again.
Mortal Kombat 9 was just Mortal Kombat.
But this is Mortal Kombat 1, but without the 1. So
they can't call it that.
They can't just call it Mortal Kombat.
That would be the third. That would be the third just
they could
Mortal
do
Kombat.
Something like bullshit.
It hasn't been long enough
at the end or something, like.
So this Infinite is overused. I don't want to hear another game.
In my mind, you do something like that, and then you can make the game a live service game. Because I feel like a lot of fighting games make sense to do that. Like we don't need Street Fighter 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's the same shit. It just looks prettier and it moves seamlessly as it progresses. That's all that happens.
But Mortal Kombat is something that kind of grows in a way where it needs to be a complete new sequel. Like, because they're not going to overhaul the graphics in a DLC.
True. They could figure it out, though. Could be the first ever to do it. You never know. That's technically what GTA is doing with the GTA Online, which is technically just GTA 5, but, continued.
Yeah.
Never know.
True that.
But, yeah.
I guess we'll see.
News. I don't think this is me, right? It was you. Oh.
I said the Karl Urban
Chrono
thing.
Odyssey is a game that was shown off recently. Chrono, at the front of that, made a lot of people, not only in our Discord, but in the comments section, think, holy shit, it's a Chrono Trigger game, or it's connected. It's not.
Disrespectful.
A lot of the comments, my favorite one was, I came for the Chrono, and I stayed for the JRPG that looked pretty decent. And to quote you specifically on the Discord, it looks like Final Fantasy meets Elden Ring, so that's fine. That's it. It looks cool.
If you're not Square, don't put Chrono in the title of your games. You are setting people up for you setting expectations so high. They're lucky the game looks decent. It's one of those things where I want to walk in that office like, you motherfuckers are lucky. All right.
You only get
even though we haven't touched this game yet or seen any gameplay. Yeah, but don't you ever in your life use the word Chrono again. I don't see one Square sign or poster in this room.
You motherfuckers are
Don't you ever do that shit
goddammit.
again. Exactly. Rectangle soft.
Rectangle
Rectangle
hard.
Enix. I'm just like, I don't I don't what it all boils down to, give me the Chrono Trigger reboot I've been wanting. Make it.
One day.
Please.
It's not like they'll never do it, you know?
I feel like that's the most like, not the most, but one of the most like overlooked things ever. They haven't give me a sequel,
I
give
feel
me a
like
remake, give me something
it's one of
to
those
the
things where
original
they
Chrono
know
Trigger. Not Chrono Cross. I want a Chrono Trigger.
I feel like it's one of
reboot
those
or
things where they
sequel.
know that it's good though, and if they ever have something go bad, like say if Tears of the Kingdom came out and it didn't get the 10 out of 10 reviews and it was shite, that's like something they could fall back on and be like, oh, we have Chrono Trigger in the works, or like they could just be like, now start working on it. You know what I mean? Like,
But how
I
could that's
mean,
not Nintendo though? Chrono Trigger was
you
on
don't think that they
Nintendo, but
would
it's not a
reboot it
Nintendo
for
game.
Nintendo?
Nintendo wouldn't.
I thought it
Square
would
would
just
have to
be
do
on the
that.
Nintendo system. To be fair, then again, I do have it on Steam. I'm dumb.
I mean, Square's is multi-platform now. They like, if anything, it would probably be on PlayStation.
I've still never played it.
It would either be on PlayStation, or if it was like Pixel, or it would probably or on Switch. But Square could put it anywhere they wanted,
Yeah,
unless somebody bought the rights. Unless Sony was like,
true.
"We want all the rights to this."
All right. Well, I didn't know any of that because I never played the game.
Well,
It looks cool.
Chrono Odyssey looks fun.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it
Check out the
actually
trailer.
is.
It looks like another like one of the same types of games that just comes out. It's like, yeah, it's an Elden Ring clone, but not really. So, yeah. What's next?
Next up, May 9th. Well, that's not news anymore. Yep. Doctor Strange 2's writers weren't able to watch WandaVision before finishing the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay, you posted this. I didn't really read this. If it seemed Scarlet Witch's character's beats were a little off in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, well, there might be a good reason for that. The sequel's writers couldn't watch WandaVision as it wasn't finished yet. Wow.
The fact that that's a thing. And when I saw that movie,
yeah,
I was immediately like, that's not the Wanda after WandaVision. What the fuck is this shit? Like, this is a bit much. And it's because it's true, and that's the way it was. Also, like, how the fuck do the sequel writers not able to watch WandaVision? Cool, makes sense. Give them the fucking script. Like, give them the script. Give them anything. And then after, like, I don't know, man. It's also weird to me because, like, not to put it on Elizabeth Olsen as the actress, but it's like, you obviously did WandaVision prior to Doctor Strange's filming because that's how things get made, you know? So, you know
right.
how your character ended in that season. You went to the premiere for the show. You probably watched the show with family or did, like, you know, like you were in the thing. How are you then going to go to a movie that is supposed to be a continuation after WandaVision? Because obviously you got the outfit from that show, so boom, makes sense in brain, and then completely play the character a different way than the character was portrayed in the show.
You're confusing
like,
yourselves and everybody else.
Like, and here's the thing: it could also be the director just being like, "That's not how I want it." There's a million factors, but it's so stupid to me that the writers for this movie didn't get the fucking scripts to WandaVision. Like, you're working at Marvel. There's a Marvel Google Drive somewhere. Like, give me the keys. For fuck's sake.
Right.
I just saw that and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Next up, huge in bold. Sony has seemingly signed a deal with Kojima for Metal Gear Solid.
Konami.
I have. What's the thing where you see letters differently than what they are? That thing. I have that maybe.
Dyslexia?
With Konami for Metal Gear Solid.
People are gonna hear that and be like, "Wait, what? Kojima?"
Kind of. No, isn't Kojima over at Xbox right now? Or am I high?
No. Well, he had some kind of deal with them to make a game over there, but he's
like
not like with them.
He's like side hoeing them, you know. Yeah.
He's on a project deal with
as
them.
They walk down the street in third place.
Yeah.
But Konami, for Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and possibly Castlevania, with Metal Gear Solid 3 set to potentially be showcased at the PlayStation Showcase this month. Yeah, pretty cool. Metal Gear Solid is something that I have no idea about.
Metal Gear is pretty dope, especially for the time. Like, I feel like if you played it now, you'd be like, so, because the formula has been built upon since. But I love Metal Gear. I played 1 and 2. 3, I didn't play. Like, I watched somebody play 3. I was at my friend's house and he was playing 3. I didn't play 4 at all. I have 5 and have never touched it, and they say that's one of the best games ever. And I've never played it.
You know what I think my brain did? I think my brain saw Kojima in the picture and then replaced it with Konami in the writing.
Well, yeah, I get it because Kojima made Metal Gear.
Until I read this picture, to be fair.
He made it. He was with Konami.
Gotcha.
And created Metal Gear. Then he left Konami. He doesn't have a relationship with them anymore. But Konami retains the rights to the Metal Gear Solid.
The only thing that I know about Metal Gear is that the main dude is named Snake, and there are different forms of him. Apparently, there's solid, liquid. Is there Gas Snake?
I don't think there's Gas Snake. No.
If they make a new one like Gassy Snake, and it's just like Snake who's farty. And that he's in Smash. That's it. That's all I know. That's it.
You don't know much.
There's solid, liquid, and we need a gassy.
The story is pretty. The fact that they're starting from 3 is what kind of throws me, though. Like, why? Just start back at 1.
Like Mortal Kombat.
I'd rather that. I mean, they've remade. Yeah, right. They remade 1 before, but not in a super modern way. They just upped the graphics.
Remake.
I want them to do a complete
Gotcha.
overhaul of 1.
They should.
And go from there. Kind of how Capcom is doing with Resident Evil right now. They should do that with Metal Gear.
Next up, something that you posted. I'm going to let you take the reins on this reading.
All right. We got new Starfield details from the ESRB. You assume the role of a miner tasked with finding artifacts across the galaxy. What does that sound like?
Minecraft.
What game does that sound like?
Death Stranding.
No. You were playing it online. Space game, go planet to planet.
It's on the tip of my tongue. We give it so much praise.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky. Sounds like No Man's Sky. Anyway, human, robot, and alien enemies, futuristic guns, lasers, axes, and explosives. Sex confirmed. A fictional drug Aurora is prominent in the game. One section involves players working in a drug lab. This is Grand Theft Auto now. In-game purchases confirmed. Yay. Rated M for blood, language, suggestive themes, and use of drugs and violence.
Sex in that list. So do we have to assume that the violence is the sex?
Or the suggestive themes? Well, they said somebody works at a drug lab. Starfield is just like sex and drugs. It's just sky fucking
it's so-fi, like... girl. Not so-fi, lo-fi. Fuck, my joke. Ruined it.
Like,
I don't
one
know.
involves a player. Like,
is...
sex confirmed. It's just so funny to me. It's almost as if people were like, man, I hope sex is in this game.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that sex isn't in video games enough. Because there are so many times in games that you're like, these characters wanna fuck. There is a sexual tension here that needs to be relieved, and then it never gets relieved. Ever. In fact, it might have been in a game that I played recently, and I'll wait a couple weeks to talk about that. But there's a sexual tension, and you need to release that shit. I'm not saying you need to see it on screen, but like, here's the thing: for me, playing Cyberpunk 2077, even when it first came out, and having the option to just casually have sex with people or try and like make a relationship with people, the fact that you create a relationship with them and then it does end in some sort of sexual encounter, it feels, I don't know how to like, you actually achieve something in that sense, because it's like, we have
Right.
now created this bond, we are a thing now through this act that we have performed or whatever in future times or whatever. Or you could just go to the fucking city and buy a joy
Right.
toy, which is a weird thing that's in the game. But yeah, I don't know, man. I, I don't know how I feel about Starfield until we see actual, like, full length gameplay. I want to see like a full mission, like a full 15-minute mission of whatever the fucking quest is. Just show it to me. That's all I want.
I agree. I want to see it too. It's the least they
Next
can
up,
do.
not really much news, but over with the whole hype of Spider-Verse right now, there's a website you can go to called spidersociety.com, in which you can take a selfie, and through the use of AI art that is, I'm pretty sure, only provided by the creators of the movie, which is nice. And it's pretty much just a Snapchat filter as far as I'm concerned. Um, you can kind of make yourself look like you're in the Spider-Verse movies, which is fun. It takes like 3 minutes to do. I posted mine. You get the mask on and mask off version. Ryan's doesn't have a neck, but also has a really weird collarbone that's protruding. So that's
Yeah, it's weird looking.
a thing, I guess. But if you want to go try that, go check it out. Spidersociety.com. It's fun.
Yeah, it's
Check.
dope. Next up, Star Wars Jedi Survivor patch fixes
PH5.
PS5
That's what you
HDR
test
issue.
your pool with. That's the
PH5.
water version of the PlayStation 5 you can play underground. The PH one. Yeah.
It's the underwater PS5. Your PS5 comes encased in a glass case.
One of these
and
days
it's
that'll be a
underwater
thing.
in
The
the case.
waterproof PlayStation.
For those who want to play it in water. Jedi Survivor patch fixes PS5 HDR issues, and a PC patch is coming. So they're still working very hard to get Jedi Survivor working perfectly across all platforms. So shout out to Respawn.
I will say
and the
that
team
one
over
glitch
there.
I was having where my game crashed, I did figure it out. That elevator, if you open any of your menus while the elevator is going, that's what causes the crash. So you just gotta sit there and let the long elevator ride happen, and by the time you get to the top, you're good. So pretty cool.
Dope.
Yeah. What is next in the news? Wario64 posted Project Bloom is in early development. Private Division announces publishing partnership with Game Freak, a new action adventure IP with the code name Project Bloom that is expected to launch during Take-Two's fiscal year of 2026.
Now, I posted that because I thought it was interesting. Hold on, Private Division Games. I thought it was interesting in the sense that Private Division was a team who made, let me get to the list. I just had the list up. They're the team behind Hades. They're the team behind Kerbal Space Program, OlliOlli World, The Outer Worlds. And I bring this up because them teaming up with Game Freak to put out an action adventure game, and Game Freak, as we all know, are the Pokemon people. I think that team with Game Freak would make something very interesting. and I'm very interested to see what those two teams can come
Yeah.
up with together. I think it's something
Oh
that
yeah.
we should like
I'm
keep an eye
assuming
on.
the picture in the screenshot isn't actually like a thing, and it's kind of just someone found some artwork of something because yeah,
I didn't know what that was. I thought that was just like early art
yeah,
footage of
maybe.
whatever they're coming out with.
Well, I don't know.
Early
We'll
assets.
see. I'm interested to see where that will go.
Yes.
If you didn't see it for Free Comic Book
Mhm.
Day, they released a comic for Marvel's Spider-Man 2023 that is an interlude in between Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 that is coming soon. It was kind of hard to find in person. I didn't find it myself, and they didn't give it away as a free comic, so that kind of sucked. But CLD was kind enough to find the link, and you can go and read it online digitally if you'd like to do that. Um, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not too pressed to read it in the sense where I'm like, if this comic was
Mhm.
like a necessary thing, the story that's in the comic would be in the game, and it's not gonna be unless it is,
Mhm.
and they have proved me wrong. But it's supposed to be what happens in between, and I can't imagine to be that big of a deal that they wouldn't just put it in the game itself. So read that if you'd like. It's in our Discord. Thank you CLD for finding that and posting it in the Discord. Next up.
Word. Next up, there is a My Nintendo Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sweepstakes happening over on My Nintendo on their Nintendo website. Um in which you can enter to win a return to a my bad. A strategy guide, a piggyback strategy
Mm,
guide for the game. Um Laser engraved crystal statue of the Master Sword, a SanDisk micro SD Nintendo Switch card,
cool.
1 terabyte, Zelda themed, a wireless controller, a wireless Bluetooth Pro controller that is also Zelda themed, a carrying case for your Switch that is Zelda themed, and of course the game. So I guess if you would like to enter that contest, you go to
Yeah, you can get that link
mynintendo.com
in our
and enter
Discord
that contest.
thanks to Pib Extra. Next up, Ant posted this
Yep.
cool screenshot without the link, so I don't know where the link is. Yeah.
Ah, shit.
But it's
GQ
the
magazine.
top 100 games of all time as voted by a panel of 300 devs, journalists, streamers, and more. Um, just the top 10 isn't terrible. I wouldn't like say it's not the worst top 10. You know,
It's
like there's nothing wrong with this
it's
top 10. I
fine.
would say. Gotcha.
I just sent you the link.
Let me go to Google. Do it from there. Where do you want to start at? Do you want to start
Get your top
no? Because we're
100.
not doing all 100.
No,
Do
we're
you
not.
want to do like top
Shit. I don't know where to
20,
start.
and we can speed run this shit?
Sure.
That's actually a really good pick because number 20 is
All right.
Elden Ring. I feel like that should be at
Okay.
least in the top 10 with the acclaim that it has had for sure. 20 is kind of rude.
Nah, I don't. I think 20 for a recent game is
But
pretty
compared to
damn
some of the
good.
ones that were in the top 10,
I have a problem with that
yeah.
top 10. And I mean, we'll talk about it
19
when we
is the
get to
original
it.
Doom from 1993. Not mad at that.
Hmm
18 Super Mario 64. Do you think that should be higher, or do you think that's right where it should be?
That's. I feel
Okay,
like in the
so
teens is what
where
that
it
should
is
be.
technically. Okay, so do you think
Yeah.
higher in the teens though, like closer to 10? Okay.
No, it's fine. It could
OG
be
Final
18.
Fantasy 7 at 17. I can't give any thoughts on that.
Hmm
'Cause I've never played it.
Okay.
Skyrim, I guess.
I guess. I wasn't a big
Yeah,
Skyrim
I
guy, but I
exactly
know
the
how
same with me
important it is.
too. Red Dead Redemption 2. Personally, recency bias.
Yeah,
This is in my
15.
top 10, if not top 5.
Mm,
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
mad
not
at
mad
it.
at 15, but for me personally, I would put this really up there because it's beautiful. The story is great. And it's just fun. Like you don't feel like you're playing a game. Like when you're playing it, you're just in it. You know what I mean? So it's a good ass time.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yep. I'm letting you know these
Super
next two is
Mario
where my
World
problems
14.
start. Super Mario World should be in the top 10 video games of all time.
I've never played.
Like, we talking all time, Super
Where would you
Mario
put
World
it
should be
in
in
the
the top
top
10.
10? Like high or closer to 1?
Uh, Super Mario World. It's between that one or 3, but it should be, like,
Okay.
in the top 5.
I have no
I don't know
opinion.
where. It should be in the top 5,
All I
though.
know is Yoshi's in it because of the screenshot. Next up at 13, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
All should be in the
I have
top
no
5.
thoughts. I've never played it.
I put it like this, when that game came out, well, you know what? I know why it's not, because I see what number 1 is.
Mhm.
So that's why it's not in the top 5. But at the same time, like, when this came out, it was people were calling it, like, magazine covers had just blatantly said, "The greatest game of all time."
Mhm.
Obviously, that's of its time. This is in the 90s, but it was that impactful.
True. Uh, Number 12,
But,
Disco
let's move
Elysium.
on for the sake of time.
I also know nothing. I believe
I
Lucia
know
is the
nothing
main
of Disco
the game
Elysium.
though. At 11, Resident Evil 4.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I'm not mad at that. Just
I
because I
played
know
the
how
demo of the
big of a deal that game is.
Half-Life 2 at 10. See, I love Half-Life 2. I
Mhm.
don't know if it's 10 is not bad. I don't know if I would put it in my personal top 10. So that's the most it
Mhm.
when it comes to that. It's definitely an iconic game, and we need Half Life 3, which we'll never have. Number 9, Dark
Forever.
Souls. I guess there had to be a From Software game in the fucking top 10, right?
If they were gonna put Dark Souls here, then I agree with your Elden Ring point.
Yeah.
Just put the
I think
more
like
refined version
Dark
here.
Souls is great. Obviously, I'm not good at them, so I understand objectively they're good. I am a shit, so I stay away. Um, the only one that I can play is like Star Wars one, where it's less punishing. Um, but I don't know, man. I don't, yeah, I would put Elden Ring there instead. Portal 2 at 8, though. I have an opinion. This is top 5 game.
You said you have an opinion.
Top 5 all time. Portal 2. This game,
Portal 2?
story for campaign single player, phenomenal. An amazing ending to the Portal franchise because technically it was, and I'm not counting the fucking desk one for Steam Deck. There's a co-op campaign that's completely
Mhm.
separate but also happening at the same time as the main campaign. And then also there was community creations where people can make their own levels at the same time. That is the perfect trifecta of a game where all three of those things were great. Top 5 game.
Mhm.
Metal Gear
Not mad at
Solid.
that.
This is the opposite of Liquid. I don't know.
Um, Metal Gear Solid. I don't mind it up there. I would have put it to the closer to the
All right.
end of the 10s. Like, I might make that 10. You know what I mean?
Number 6, Mass Effect 2. I have no idea about Mass Effect, but I know it is a amazing franchise. I just never dove into it myself, sadly.
I'm not mad at that. I've never played them either, but I'm not mad at it given
Yeah.
its how much people care about it
5 being The
and what
Witcher
I've heard
3.
about it.
That makes sense for an all-time. Not my all-time, but makes sense for how big of a franchise it is and how big that specific game was as well.
Yeah.
Bloodborne at 4.
No. And I know it's big. You know what? If you're gonna put Bloodborne at 4,
Dark Souls
you should
is.
put Bloodborne where Dark Souls is
I
and
agree.
put Elden Ring at 4 in that case.
100%.
If you're going to do that. And I don't think Elden Ring is the 4th best game in the world. So with that being said, I really think you will need one of those games in that genre up here. And I honestly,
Yeah,
you were right. I think Elden
Bloodborne's
didn't make it
great. Don't
Elden
get me
Ring.
wrong. Like it was kind of like taking the Dark Souls formula and putting like a really weird, almost Resident Evil type feel on it, and I like the feel of it. Lovecraftian, as the description says of it. But I don't think it's number 4. Number 3 being
Mhm.
Tetris is kind of slap to the face, don't you think? Like Tetris is a good game. We get it. They made a movie this year that was a
I don't
fucking spy film apparently and rated R, but I don't think it's top fucking 3.
I don't know, man. I see why Tetris is up there though. Tetris is fucking. I know iconic is such an overused word, but at one point, like Tetris was it was.
Iconic.
I don't even know what the word to use. Like Tetris was huge. Yeah, it was. Everyone had Tetris in their pocket. Like Tetris it needs to be in the top 10 just based off the fact that it's
It's even
been
been before that
everywhere
with the Battle
since it
Royale.
came out. Yeah, like yeah, right. Tetris is such a building block of video games.
True.
No
Frank and
pun
Chess is
intended.
Tetris' its own cult of personality. Its own cult of personality.
Tetris is what?
Look in my eyes, what do you
Yeah.
see? A bunch of blocks stacked
I
up
think
like
I don't mind Tetris being
I don't
there.
know. I don't have ant bars. Last of Us as 2. Top 5. Not 2.
No, no. Last of Us.
I think 2 is better
Is
than 1
two not better
personally
than
when it comes
one?
to story. Gameplay, I think they both suck. I don't like the gameplay in Last of Us, and I'm openly honest about that. I've always said this. I think it's tedious, and I feel like I'm just trying to get to the next cutscene in the movie when I'm playing those games. But the cutscenes are so fucking good, and the story's
I
so
can see
fucking
that.
good that I will barrel my way through that playthrough. That's just me.
You know what? Last of Us. I'll
Oh yeah,
concede to
not at
it
all.
being in the top 5, but I don't think it should be
Now
2.
here,
If it was like 8,
number
9, I'd be
1,
like,
Breath of the
no,
Wild.
fine, okay.
I don't think so. No.
I already know how you feel about that.
I will be honest and say it's in top 10, maybe even top 5.
Um,
But for me, this is nowhere close to number 1. Nowhere close.
um. Now, as the Nintendo
An
guy,
hour,
I,
less
I
than an
think
hour.
47 minutes. Breath of the Wild. It's one of those things that is at number 1. I won't argue it. I could argue it, but so many people. This game isn't it because it stands the test of time. It
Yeah.
stands the test of recency bias to me. It's one of those things where like maybe it wouldn't be my number 1 game of all time, but I'm not going to sit here and argue with someone who does have it at the number 1 game of all time. And so many people came out when that game came out and said this is the greatest, one of the greatest video games ever made. So it's like, even if you just go off pure consensus, and they said they there was like 300 people involved in this from all different backgrounds and stuff in this list. And if you got all these influencers and bloggers and game personalities, and this still landed at number 1 out of all of them, then on top of all the notoriety it already had, then all I can then sure.
I just don't like it.
Now
Yeah.
I know, and I love it. So for me, it's just like, oh, it's a game I love. Now, is it my personal number one? Maybe it might be the best Zelda game. I don't think it's number one. What do you dictate as number one? Should it be
I feel like
impactful
they're
or
two
should it
separate
be a
things.
game you like? Should it be important or should it
I
be
think those are three
fun
separate
and
things. You
important?
have the both of them, then there's just the important, and then there's just the personal. You know, like you have the personal that's mixed with like, yeah, obviously this is a great game, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say objectively, and this is gonna be hot take of the year. I feel like number one on like the impact right now, if you were to actually look at this objectively and look at what it's done for gaming and how much it has going on inside of it and what's going on still and has been going on for years. Fucking Fortnite, dude. If you talk about
It's
impact of
not the
gaming
number
and like
one
the
base game
amount
of
of
all time.
shit that they've done in that game with both Unreal Engine, the creative shit, the amount of collaborations they've had, every video game character wants to be in Fortnite. Whether it be the Battle Royale, whether it be the Save the World where you face the AI, whether it be a completely custom game mode because you can do anything inside of it now. I feel like that game, first of all, it's 81 on this list, which is, I would say, at least top 50
Mm-hmm.
if we're going like on the scale of this list.
I'll give you Fortnite
Yeah.
being in the top 10 at this point. At this point, for what it's done to gaming and the current gaming audience, especially with everything it's done, where it came from, what it built to what it is, to how much it impacted culture and gaming as a whole, then I'll say Fortnite should be top 5. But I don't think Fortnite should be number 1.
So I have two issues with this list. And one of them is that when I did Control F, I looked for two games specifically. First one being God of War. They only have God of War from 2018 on here, and it's at 47. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bullshit. And then my second qualm is that I searched for a singular word, and it didn't show up anywhere on this list. Fucking Spider.
Dog.
You're telling me that Spider-Man didn't make a top 100? Bullshit. It is the perfect fucking superhero game.
A lot of these games, is it as good as it is
For
important?
Spider-Man,
That's
I
my
would say
question.
so, because I feel like it revolutionized. Yeah. Yeah.
It's important for
'Cause it's the
Spider-Man, but
best
it's
Spider-Man
important for video
game we've
games.
got. Yeah.
Video games as the industry.
You've got
Yeah,
the perfect
but is
web
it?
swinging. You've
It
got
didn't.
the perfect, like, giants.
And I love
You had a
Spider-Man.
1-to-1 recreation of New York City in a video game.
So yeah, but all right. You see how we talked about Fortnite and how it literally changed things? Spider-Man didn't do that. It's just a really it's just a fantastic Spider-Man game.
Gaming. And if there's no superhero games on here as well. There's not even Batman. No Arkham City. Arkham City walked so that fucking Spider-Man could run, but Arkham City was phenomenal. Both should
then
be
Arkham City should be up there and not
least.
Spider-Man.
I'm not saying that they need to be up there, but
I'll give you
at
that.
least
I believe
for
that.
Fuck's sake. God damn. Like, also, fuck you for putting 47 as God of War GQ.
You want to know? Also, all right, my number one standout for this, because again, the importance, impact, and fun sliders that we have. There's not this. I don't care what anybody says. I know where I stand in my fandom, but you can't tell me that there's not one Mario game in the top 10 video games ever. Mario, yeah, I was just about to say that. The original Super Mario Brothers is 96. Video games are video games now because of Super Mario Brothers. It was the first game that had level progression, side scrolling level, like completion from beginning to. It was the first one, and everybody had it when it dropped. It was impactful. It's one of the most impactful games of all time. Well, Sonic has a bad rap. No, I get why that's hater shit, but I'm not surprised it's not on the list. That doesn't surprise me. Mega Man 2 or Mega Man X should definitely be on this list, but they're not, and that's strange to me. If you got Fable 2 on here, but Fable 2 is higher than Super Mario Brothers. I think
my biggest issue has to be that Sims is higher.
Grand Theft Auto 4?
Like that's fucked, in my opinion.
Civ 5 is higher than Super Mario Brothers. What else is on here? I see Fortnite. Fortnite should definitely be higher. Firewatch is not very super. Tetris is on here twice because Tetris Effect is number 79, which is stupid. It should just be Tetris on here. Tetris Effect didn't change anything. It's just an iteration of Tetris.
It's a bad list. Also, World of Warcraft is not even top 20. Like, that's such an impactful game. Minecraft isn't top 20. Pokemon isn't top 20.
Yeah, I agree. COD 4 Modern Warfare is 71. As far as shooters, Journey's that game should be in the top, at least top 30. For what that did to
I'm fine with
first
I don't
person
give a
shooters.
fuck as long as it's on the list.
What number is it?
It's on the list, baby. That's all that matters.
Modern Warfare should be in the top 15 to 20 for what that did to the first person shooter.
They don't have Ghost of Tsushima on this list. Nothing matters. This list is garbage. That solidified it for me. But yeah, that's a list that if you want to go check it out on GQ's website, you can go check that out and complain about it yourself and tell us what your top 5 games are in the comments down below. Call to action. Next up in the news, what do we got? We gotta speed through these. It's getting close to your time.
All right. Next up. All good. Let me get back. We are at Devolver Digital said yes. They tweeted, yes, we're doing a Devolver Direct in June. More information soon. And they had some nice back and forth with the commenters. Somebody said, nice. Let me know if you need any extras to be murdered on it. I'd be down. And they responded, it's not murdered if you volunteer. Somebody said, will Silksong be announced in it? Which is a joke based on the fact that people have been waiting for Hollow Knight Silksong to drop forever. And Devolver just responds,
so ironic,
sure. They don't even make that.
The next headline, which is Hollow Knight Silksong, has been delayed past June 2023. Oh, Devolver. How could you do this?
Perfect timing.
Oh, man. I feel bad for John because he picked that in the fantasy league.
That's so good.
That's a big old hit right there, sadly. But I think the next thing, we're just gonna go straight to it. What's happening in the next 37 minutes? Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. The reviews are in the day before the game came out.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was today. Yes, which is the day before the game came out. Yeah, I was right. Why am I questioning my own words? I'm stupid. But it's getting very good reviews. For IGN, this is their review.
Damn near
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is an unfathomable follow-up of one of the greatest games ever made. Bullshit. That was me adding that. Somehow improving upon it in nearly every way, be that with simple quality of life improvements, a genuinely exciting story, or wildly creative building mechanics that make you rethink what's possible. With a 10 from IGN. Going down the list, IGN, all these people are 10s, and then I'll say the rest of the ones after they get to the lower scores, but IGN Inverse RPG site GameSpot, Destructoid, Nintendo Life, and CG Magazine 10s across the board. Game Informer 9.8, and then these are all 5 out of 5s. VGC, VG247, Games Hub, comicbook.com, and then Eurogamer gave it a 4 out of 5 with a Metacritic score of 97 and OpenEv 98. And your boy picked this as his number 1 draft pick in the fantasy league. I have secured victory.
It's the perfect choice.
Probably not. It's a long year to go. But yeah, man. Game good. Ooh, Nintendo make good game.
I mean, it's really not much more to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the IGN like video review, and I can't lie, man. That shit looks fucking good. The way they gushed over it was like, usually, IGN is just like, all right, tell me why it's good, whatever. But it was a really well done review. And then the shit that's in this game, how big this game is not being stated enough, because the shit they show in that review was like, not only is the overworld big, I don't want to give it away, but there's a whole different level to the main world that's big. It's also big, if not bigger than the updated overworld.
Legend of Zelda Beeg. Beeg.
Big. But yeah, going forward, these are quotes. Washington Post said, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is more than double the size of the original game. It has long, engaging side missions that feed into the main story. I mainlined the story in 60 hours, and I'm not even close to half finished. Holy shit. They go on to say, temples are indeed back, because everybody was talking about the shrines and how they don't have like the temples anymore. Temples are indeed back with long, engaging warm-up quests that take you above, in, and under Hyrule. Some of these are simply the best in the series' history. The final act is simply the grandest in the series as well. It will surprise and leave you in awe. Best open world.
I feel that.
Reading those was like, oh shit. Well, now I'm way too excited.
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna end up buying this and playing it tomorrow. Do I play it on stream? Or do you want to play it on stream?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you have a better shot at having time to play it on Steam than me tomorrow.
You could stream it.
True. I guess I could.
You could be back.
I could.
Stand by for further streams. We'll see what happens.
Well, stand by. Maybe.
Hell yeah.
You have to see.
But other than that, I think the only other news that we have is the Asus ROG Ally that we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, if I'm correct. And we can end it after that. Oh no, there's a decent more things. Fuck. But they. I'm just gonna.
No, there's a couple of things.
The Asus ROG Ally.
Yeah. No.
Comparatively. I'm gonna.
Yo, run through that real quick. I have to.
Here we go.
I was trying to hold it to the
Asus ROG Ally compared to
too much news.
Deck. They both are looking like they got some AMD Ryzen going on. AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme Zen 4 for the Ally, and then Steam Deck is running on Zen 2, so it looks like they're a little bit behind. Graphics RDNA 3 for Asus ROG Ally. Steam Deck's got RDNA 2. The display 7 inches for both of them, but the Ally is coming in at a 1920 by 1080, while the Steam Deck is at 1280 by 800, which is a weird aspect ratio now that I look at that. 60 hertz and 400. No, wait. Yeah. 60 hertz, and what is that tiny ass letter? Hits? I don't know what the fuck hits are. But 60 hertz for Steam Deck and 120 for the Ally, so they're clocking a little bit better. For the Ally, you got 512 gigabytes plus a micro SD slot. Steam Deck comes in multiple different options for storage. 512 is the maximum, the same as the Ally. So if you want to get the maximum version of the Steam Deck, it's the exact same as the I guess base version of the Ally. Asymmetrical Xbox style controller layout, no thumb pads or trackpads. The symmetrical trackpads are on the Steam Deck. Programmability, those are too fucking small of font for me to read that. Let me zoom. So there's two macro back paddles, thumbstick dead zone and sensitivity, and trigger sensitivity as well, which is cool to see that someone besides PlayStation is doing it. And then with the Steam Deck, we just got the 4 macro back buttons that don't have any sort of pressure sensitivity. What is this one? The audio. I don't think anyone really uses the audio from a Steam Deck personally. I have headphones on when I play, but dual front facing speakers and virtual 5.1.2 surround sound Dolby Atmos is in the Ally, while we just get some dual front facing speakers that are stereo on the Steam Deck. The weight is a little bit less weight than the Steam Deck, coming in at 669 versus 608. And then extra features, it has haptic feedback, Armory Crate Launcher, and the overlay, fingerprint unlock, and then all we have over on Steam Deck is haptic feedback and thumb trackpads. That's it all, right as Ant sat back down.
Good old thumb trackpads.
I did the thing. But all that being said,
you did
in my opinion,
good job.
I don't think that warrants necessarily buying this as opposed to the Steam Deck. Especially when we talk about price. The prices are $599 and $699 for the Ally, compared to the lowest Steam Deck starting at $399, and the lowest Steam Deck is still pretty good for what it is. So if you have some extra spending money, there's that option for you. Obviously, I don't really think it's necessarily worth it right off the heels of the Steam Deck, unless you have extreme disposable income. We were kind of joking around about getting one for the show just to have it and review it. Don't think so. So, yeah,
no,
we could do.
It's just not.
We had to buy a green screen.
We could be doing other shit with that money for the show.
We should probably do that before Monday, huh?
Oh yeah, it's true.
Or could we get it on Monday? Do a Micro Center.
Can we get it before Monday? I guess so.
Unless you,
huh?
That is true. Yeah.
I don't know. Shit. It's harder now because there's like
maybe
a baby.
I run the
and Adrian's working
before I come over for the in-office day. We could do that.
We don't have like, is it one on Amazon? We can get like 2-day delivery. It can be here by Monday.
But yeah,
yeah.
Next up in the stories, the coolest thing that's happened this week. It's so good.
Oh man, this is just me, the song. Tenacious D put out a song called Video Games, animated by Oni. You know, Oni plays Oni cartoons on YouTube.
It's really good.
It's very good. It's very, very good. Pure Tenacious D style, that Jack Black style. If you
it's a short song
that,
too, but it reminds
please go watch
me a
their
lot
new music
of,
video called
I don't know if you
Video
listen
Games.
to Tenacious D albums or not, but the album where it's the one with the black cover and them just
I listen to like
in the back.
Older ones,
and there's like the in betweens. Okay, but in that album,
I didn't own it. Like one of my friends had it.
Between tracks that I love. Like there's one called One Note Song where it's just him and Kyle going back and forth. Like just take this note and just bend it. Just put that little bendy in right there. And we wrote a fucking song. Next song. And then Kyle's like, but that's not a song, man. Someone else probably like, but they didn't do the bendy. I made the bendy. That's what I did. It's me. Fuck you. I win. And I love it. Yeah. Love that shit. And then also cock push-ups.
Wait, see, that does sound familiar. So I'm probably talking about
good. Such a good. Also, the song Wonder Boy. What is the secret of your Wonder Boy? So secret good. Of music video.
I do know that song. Take me away from the mucky muck.
Good album. Go listen to the song.
Okay, I do. Yeah, it's all coming back.
Next up, Jeff Keighley, friend of the show. We love you, Jeff. Give us money for something. I don't know. He tweeted out, and here. If we want to,
send us tickets to your show.
He tweeted out, and here we go. With more than 40 partners set to take part in Summer Games Fest activities, You can sign up for the alerts now at summerofgamesfest.com. Join us for the live showcase at the YouTube Theater on June 8th, which we will not be doing. We'll be doing it from the Save Before Quitting Theater basement. Live. I have to request off for that probably because I think it's in the middle of the week.
We will.
Probably because they always do that shit. It's in June, so
Is
June
is
next month, 8th Thursday. Yeah, so of course we got to do that. Maybe I'll request off Friday because fuck working a day after this. But yeah, if you want to go see the full lineup of those 40 people, I'm not gonna read off every single fucking place because fuck that. But there's a ton of people in this graphic. Go check it out in the Discord.
Everybody you would assume would have been at E3
we got
is here.
2 more. Fuck.
All right. Breaking news. Call of Duty 2023 is reportedly called Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 will feature a campaign, multiplayer, zombies, Outbreak 2.0, and a new Warzone map, Las Almas. Source is Insider Gaming. Insider Gaming is a website and Twitter page. They usually have the inside track.
Hell yeah.
Hence the name.
I think
they are a trusted source
for the campaign because did they copy the campaigns from the original Modern Warfares or did they just remake them entirely? Okay, I might have to do more research because I remember
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't bought any
when it came out on I believe it was PS3. That was my favorite campaign that they released because 2 was great. I love 2. Everyone loves 2. But then 3 came out. I was in line at GameStop. Had my wristband and everything. I still have the game case with my wristband from waiting in line at midnight for the midnight release. And I remember loving that story so much. I love the way that it fucking ends when the dude crashes through the fucking ceiling and just like there after all that fucking it's so good. So if it's that but better, I will get this as a campaign because this was my favorite one besides Black Ops 1, I believe. So I like Black Ops 1 campaign a lot. Yeah.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that because now I'm a Call of Duty guy again. Quick Call of Duty story. Tim the Tap Man's getting his own operator in the game. Yeah. The funny part is they already did one for one of the people he streams.
He's coming up, man.
And in Nick's skin, he's got like Spartan armor on because that's like what his logo and shit is based around with streaming. But with Tim, it's just Tim with like tactical gear on his chest and shit, and he's got a backpack with a little plushy penguin that he calls Kevin that sits in the back of the stream, and he also recorded voice lines and shit for it, which is really cool. And then another thing that I'm interested about to see if this turns into something. I'm assuming behind the scenes they probably went the direction to make this not an issue, but he has all of his tattoos that he has on real life on his operator, and then he has blueprints for guns that are his tattoos on the guns. Yeah. Now,
see, that's some TLC that I like.
Here's the
that
thing
you're putting into that character.
WWE
You are in that game.
Sued, and 2K was mainly for including Randy Orton's tattoos on his in-game model because the tattoo artist said he never gave permission for his art to be in the game. So that was a thing that's been.
I remember that.
I'm curious if I'm assuming Tim talked to his tattoo artist because they're actually very close with each other, and maybe there was some sort of financial thing given to the tattoo artist, and we don't know about it. But I'm curious to see if something does come out later about that or not, because with the WWE one, that's just in my brain. So I'm interested to see. Probably not, but we'll see what happens because I think that they kind of do things the right way. At least Tim does. I've followed him for years, so there's that. Last story though.
Right.
Too Many Games. It's coming up very, very soon. We will be there together for one day. I'll be there the whole fucking weekend. June 23rd to 25th at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. They just posted their full guest list of who's going to be there. Top of the list, Charles Martinet. Yeah. You can get an autograph for $60 or a selfie. He's going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the whole entire weekend if you want to go and try and meet him. I'm sure that the Friday line will probably be the simplest to get through. Maybe Sunday. Saturday is going to be terrible. Yeah. I don't
Probably.
know if you want to get a
Saturday's
sense
going
of
to
it. I feel like
obviously
you
be
kind of
the
have to
hardest day to do
because
anything.
like you're the Mario. Like we'll fucking say it's a business suspense as at this point, you know. Like get him to say "save before quitting" or some shit. Yeah, that'd be cool. Fucking sick. Yeah. I mean, if it's $60, maybe. I don't know.
We'll discuss it. We'll see. I'm not saying, because a part of me will be like,
Do you want to go to
I
fucking
mean, we could
what's the
spend $60
place called
on this, so you
what's
just want
the
to
official
go
restaurant?
get some
Iron
food or
Hill?
something for $60.
Yeah.
Oh
Other
yeah,
actors that are going
our
to be there,
place,
voice actors, David Hayter,
Iron
who did
Hill.
Metal Gear Solid, Solid Snake, Captain America, and Watchmen. I'm trying to like pick off names that I actually know. Patricia Somerset, who played Princess Zelda. She's in Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Some guy from TMNT, Cam Clark. A couple of anime voice actors that I don't know the names of. Uh, Roger Craig Smith, Sonic the Hedgehog at Apex Legends, Naruto, Bleach, Resident Evil. I don't know any other. Beat 'em ups from YouTube is gonna be there. Maybe we can meet up with him and say what's up. Get some, like tips and tricks on how to grow the channel because that man sure
Word.
knows how to do it. Um, who else is gonna be there? I'm trying to see
Come on our
people I
show.
actually recognize.
Right.
Because I don't recognize many. Wolfden, who's on the Nintendo podcast with brain fart of the name I just fucking said, Beat 'em ups, will be there. He's a very big Nintendo creator as well. I don't know any of these other people. I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys make great content, but I don't know you. I'm scrolling so much. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know any of the rest of them. But check out the list. The list is on our Discord, and you can come and meet us for free.
That voice.
So do that. We'll be there. I don't know about that. Charles Martin.
Yeah, we'll be there.
He's charging.
We're better than all these people.
Like, you got to be at a tier to charge $60 for a picture.
Listen, he's gonna see us and be like, "Save before quitting, guys." I wanna see. I'm gonna look at him and be like, $60,
Mama
Charles.
Mia in me. You know what I'm saying?
You want to take a picture with us?
But that's all the news for this week.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of fucked. Real quick, this is kind of fucked up. All the people who have prices for all this shit obviously have the price of how much it would cost next to their names. But then right after that, it just says for the people who don't have his autograph, free.
True.
Selfie, free. You shouldn't say that. It should just not be there.
That's true.
Because it makes them seem like
some of these
they're nothing to the people who charge.
Like, we're just here because we like the shit, and we happen to have a career because we like the shit. You know, like at least for the YouTubers and stuff. Yeah,
I'd rather assume that it's free than they put on the website.
He's gonna ask you for money.
You want to take a picture with this guy? It's fine. It's free. He's not as important. That's what it makes.
Either way, it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be my first time at Too Many Games. I believe yours as well. And there's gonna be some cool stuff there. They're gonna have an arcade, a board game playing area, CGC stuff, and then also what I'm most excited for, cosplay pro wrestling. Yeah, that shit is cool because they all dress up like different characters in cosplay.
Yeah, I saw that.
And sometimes they act like they have the fucking superpowers of the person that they are, and that's cool as shit. So I can't wait for that. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna see if I don't spend too much money there. Hopefully not too much, but we'll see. So that's the news. Let's get back to regular full cam, and we'll close out the show. This 2-hour long fucking show. Yeah. What a news. Who would have thunk?
Right? What a news section.
Yeah. I am ready. Oh man, your camera went away. Why did your camera go away? We're back. You're back. I don't know what the hell just happened. It like went away for a millisecond and then came back.
Am I back?
But yeah, I'm ready to go to bed probably. Yeah. But you're gonna go play. Here's the game.
For sure.
Yeah. To be fair, we didn't have much.
I am. I'm gonna mix the shit out of this.
Straightforward.
Real quick.
That'll be nice. And you can just.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
We got a nice formula down. I don't really have to cut much from our show.
We said a lot of words in these 2 hours. But
I feel you.
Thank you guys for listening. As always,
We did.
Figure Friday will be tomorrow, unless
Man.
Ant streams, because that's fine too. If you want to stream in place of Figure Friday, please go for it. Because
please. Maybe I might not be able to do it initially, but if you start Figure Friday, maybe I can come up like halfway through Figure Friday and be like, all right, I'll take over.
Fucking rage at Overwatch for God knows how long. But yeah, if you guys want to follow us on social media, it's the same every single fucking place that exists at SaveLoadB. Number 4 Quitting over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Titty Gang, in which you can purchase some merchandise with that exact
titty gang
over on Say Before Quitting, fully spelled out.com with some merch designs there. Got some more stuff coming soon. Maybe some stuff from a different show that might be in production from Ant and somebody else that's going down. Maybe we could toss that in our store just so it's easier for y'all. Yeah, that's gonna be a good time, and I can't wait for that to come out.
Hint.
Shows
hint
on the deck coming soon. What else do we got? Patreon. We got 2 extra podcasts a month that you guys get, where we just bullshit, and it's most of the time shorter than this, and a little less video gamey. Sometimes games sprinkle their way in, but it's mainly just like bullshit topics and what I think about when I'm high, which is a lot of weird stuff and sometimes politically stuff. We never got any comments about some of the stuff we said in the last episode, and I'm like, did nobody listen yet, or are they just like, I don't know, fine with it? I don't think we said anything problematic for that to be an issue, but I'm like, nobody wants to throw their opinion. Yeah, like I don't know, but it's fine if you don't want to.
Yeah. No one was putting their 2 cents
perfectly fine, and we'll do that on.
We just got to build that audience. That's all.
Soonish, at least by next month, there's going to be a new show on the channel that's going to be more frequent, I would say, because we can kind of like bulk record it, and then I can just like pump it out easily. So pump out the jam.
Yeah. For sure.
Sex included.
Pump up the jam, turn it up. I don't know any more words. Okay. Sex confirmed. Listen, man, if you have if you're looking to have sex,
it does come out.
Starfield comes out this fall. And sex is confirmed. Yeah. So,
you know what I'm saying?
CUM.
Oh man. I'm tired. I am warm. I'm ready to go to bed, but I'm gonna play Jedi Survivor probably because nobody's playing Overwatch anymore. So that gives me the free pass to go back to Ginger Jedi. So, oh, for sure. I feel it won't. I don't think it'll render in that.
You think I can mix this episode in 13 minutes?
Yeah.
I'm about to say, wait a minute. Still have to
I think you can edit it in the time that you need to, and then it'll just, you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? And then just save it and then let it do its thing and then sit down on the couch and put it on a big screen.
Word.
You're playing on the big screen, I assume, right? Yeah. I was going to say, you can't not. Like, you can't.
I plan to, yes.
Yeah.
I know I know me though. I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna get like 45 minutes in and I could just be like,
it's gonna be a good time though.
Head nod.
Before you confirm that you have sex in Starfield, make sure you always do. Save before quitting. We will see you next week. We're
Save
definitely
before quitting.
Yeah. It's exciting. Next week you're gonna be a fucking
yep, I promise.
Here's the thing. What if you hate the game?
It is.
But what if it's what if all these reviews are just like normies?
That's not gonna happen.
They're just like so fucking good. But then you play it and for some reason it's just stupid.
Oh, please believe me, as much as I love Nintendo and love Zelda and all that stuff, if I don't like this game,
All right.
I'm gonna be
I
even
don't want you
more
to not
excited
like
to
it,
record next week. I'm
but
like,
also
please put me on a
that
microphone.
would be kind of fun. Ah, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have a
I'm
good
gonna
time.
love
Who
it.
would think? But all right. Well, that's the quickest post
Unfortunately, I'm
credit
gonna
scene
love
ever. We're
that
gonna
game.
call it a night there, so Ant can go have a good time
Right.
and get shit done before he has to play. Have a good night, guys. If you guys are still with us at this late hour, have some fun with Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom. Holy shit, you guys are still here, says CLD. Yes, we are, and we're 10 minutes away. Have a good night, guys.